Welcome to my Yu-Gi-Oh! Deck profile for Dinosaur. This deck profile is for the current format and also the profile that I will be using at YCS London in April 2023. This is how I have built the deck, as this is a concept deck for blind second dinosaurs. So we'll jump right into the profile. So, starting with our list, we have one Ultimate Conductor Tyranno. I only play one because you want to summon this normally, inherent summon, by banishing 2 dinosaurs from grave, and you can recur it back from the graveyard after you've done this with Soul Eating Oviraptor. This allows you to flip all your opponent's monsters face down during either main phase. It can attack every monster on the field, and also if it attacks a defense position monster, you can choose to inflict some damage to your opponent and then send the card to the grave so you don't trigger any destruction effects. The next one, we have Dome Wrestler Pancratops. It is a free summon when your opponent controls more monsters than you do. It's very beefy, so you can attack with it. It's a very good beat stick, and you can also pop something as well as a quick effect. So this is the dinosaur I'll be summoning off of Pill more than Ultimate Conductor Tyranno, because, as I say, I would like to recur Ultimate Conductor Tyranno from the grave, and with it being at 1, this way I don't clog on it too much or have too many copies of it, so I can grab it out of deck when I need it. Then you play 3 Soul Eating Oviraptor. This allows me to search or send any dinosaur from deck. It also allows me to recur any dinosaur in grave, which again, in the later game, if I have to play in the later game, I can recur the Ultimate Conductor Tyranno. This is a mandatory 3 of and the best card in the deck. We play 3 Baby Ceratosaurus and Petite Pteranodon. This is a normal summon in this deck as well. We'll get into that in a minute. But when it is destroyed, it allows you to summon any dinosaur from deck that is either level 4 or lower, or with Petite it's level 4 or higher, so you can just summon Pancratops straight from deck if you want to. But mostly you just want to get these triggered off, and then you can start your plays and your combos as quick as possible, and they're also mandatory effects. Miscellaneousaurus. It allows your dinosaurs in the main phase it is discarded to be unaffected by your opponent's activated card effects, which helps massively. So when you're building your board, or when you're trying to break apart some of your opponent's board, they can't do anything to your dinosaurs while you're busy like getting yourself into a good battle pace position. Also, you can banish it from grave then to summon Animadorn Darkosaur, which will then pop either hopefully pop a baby that is either in field or hand, to then summon a dinosaur from deck and search Double Evolution Pill, so then you can summon one of your big dinosaurs straight from deck. I only like to play 1 because, again, my main search here is to get the UCT, and it's not as combo heavy as other dinosaur builds. For this added spice, we have YCS Starfrost, which turns the babies into normal summons. This allows you to destroy the baby Ceratosaurus or the Petite on field to summon itself, which then triggers their effects to then summon Oviraptor straight from deck to start your combo plays out. Generates a massive amount of advantage, and it also has a decent battle phase effect where it gains attack, but it rarely comes up. We then have 3 Fenrir. I'm afraid it is so good, this format, and it is so free. So if you control no monsters, you just yoink it onto the field. You can search another one of itself after you've summoned it, and if your opponent activates a monster effect, you can then banish any face-up card on the field, which is broken. So it is just like Pancratops, it's just free. But if you're also forced to go first, you can also chuck it out because you control no monsters, and then try and make an extra bit of interruption to go with the Fenrir. So that is it for the main combo monsters. We'll then get into hand traps. Going second, we play quite a hefty lineup. So we have 3 Ash Blossom. He's a controversial hand trap that weaves in and out on formats, but this is my favourite hand trap because stopping the amount of advantage some decks can generate either through draw power or summoning from deck it can be turn ending if you hit this correctly and right, especially with a Jizu and Tier Element milling 5 at a time at the right time. If they've got low card advantage, or if you're in a good position where Ash is going to be a bit of disruption, it is amazing. We then have 3DD Crow. This is my hand trap of choice at the minute because it can deal and force Shizu effects out in the grave, whereas with Bestials, the only target light and darks, but Bestials are also another good option that you could play instead of Crow. It's just, you can then take out triggers that your opponent has in grave, especially with Tear, and with DD Crow you can hit the Ajizu stuff as well, so either DD Crow or Bestials will be fine. 3 infinite impermanence. I'm not likely going to be using this during an opponent's combo because there aren't many good like combo starters that you can use imperm on that'll do a great deal of effect, where as disruption's concerned, I'd rather than make the board, get a couple negates out or an interruption or a lock, and then I can just drop this when I'm ready to start playing out my turn. So I usually hold impermanence, but if the opportunity presents itself where it's going to be effective, then you've got it. So for the spells, we have 3 Lost World and Terraforming Search Lost World. This card and combo with Oviraptor, or even your normal summon with Baby and have Ice Ass in hand, it is broken because you can summon a token to your opponent's side of the field, which you can then try and destroy with Oviraptor. So you've got a Dinosaur in the field, and then you can protect it if it's ever going to be destroyed by destroying babies from deck, which generates you more advantage. And then on top of that, your opponent cannot target your dinosaur monsters with card effects whilst they control the token, which with Misk as well, making all your dinosaurs unaffected by activated card effects and not being able to be targeted, it makes you untouchable almost. 3 Fossil Dig. This turns your deck into a 37 card deck because it grabs Oviraptor or a Baby or whatever piece you need straight from deck. So if you have Oviraptor, you'll search Misk, or if you have Misk and Oviraptor, you search Baby, or, you know, it adds to those 2 card combos which generate tons of advantage. Mandatory 3 of. Double Evolution Pill. Again, like the Archosaur, you just play 1 because the combo's nice when it's there. And if you hard open this, you play enough non-dinosaurs to just use it in the first place. But it's just nice to summon your bigger dinosaurs straight from deck, ignoring in the summoning conditions. But I only like to summon Pancratops off of it because I'd rather summon UCT inherently so I can recur it back from grave. There is 3 Pot of Prosperity. This card allows you to dig so much deeper into your deck, so you can grab those 2 card pairings, or even missing pieces, or even extra disruption straight from your deck. So it generates tons more of advantage. And especially when you go in second, you have that extra card to play with. So the sad thing is it does have damage that your opponent takes that turn, but you should be in a commanding enough position for it to not matter. And then finally, 3 Forbidden Droplet. This way I can address absolutely anything on field that I find a problem, and I can pair it with normal spells as well. So if I activate Pot of Prosperity, or even Dig or Terraforming, I can chain Droplet and then deal with a threat by sending the card I've just activated. So it's just so free dealing with these negates, and it halves the attack of the monsters that you negate. So the Ultimate Conductor Tyranno could enable an OTK even much more effectively. So that's it for the main deck, which is 40 cards. For the extra deck, I play Baron de Fleur. When you're playing with Vysis Starfrost and you pop a Baby, that Baby then summons Oviraptor, and then with Vysis and Oviraptor on field, you have an added level of 10. You might as well make an Omni, which can also pop a card on field on summon, so it's great for board breaking. It has a negate attached to it, and you can also rotate monsters that are in your grave to then start combo or carry on with plays. So it is a great extender and even protection element in the deck. You have Cyframe Lord Omega. This is cuttable, but it is nice because it rips a card out your opponent's hand and it can put things back from banished and grave. So when it does crumb up, it is amazing. So I don't think I would drop this. but it is a flex spot. A Ruddy Rose Dragon, I think, is mandatory as well for an option, because you can rip every single card out of the graves before you even play, or even like if you haven't even set up your grave, you can then disrupt your opponents and then carry on as normal. So this is massively effective, especially in this format where it's very heavily grave focused with the Jesus and Tears. Ivazar Lagia, it's just a judgment on legs that you can make with your dinosaurs. So it negates a summon or spell a trap. And then Evilzar Dolka. I usually go into this one because it is a double strike, which isn't once per chain. This way you can just negate as many monster effects as possible, and it can break boards as well if you're playing into a board of negates. Abyss Dweller turns off the graveyard, especially in a graveyard format. It's a mandatory card if you have rank 4 versatility. Zodiac Checker-9, which you make with 2 level 4s to then put Hammer Kong over and Tiger Mortar, and then finishing with Bobo. To have this many materials with under Bobo attacks directly, and then once you've attacked directly with Bobo in main phase 2, you can go straight into AA Zeus. The reason you do this is because it's so free as a rank 4 engine, but also what you can do is, like, if you're forced to go into turn 3, this at least gives you some insulation, so you have plenty of board wipes and sends with the Zeus, and you don't have to worry about the following turns because you're going to be in that commanded position. Linkaribo, which you make using Archosaur if you need a non-dinosaur engrave, so then you turn Linkaribo into Secure Gardener, so you can get that non-dinosaur engrave for Pill. There's that much extra deck room that you can afford to put these engines in to cover yourself. You rarely go into the extra deck. Nightmare Phoenix, so you can pop spells and traps. It's just a nice little toolbox card, especially with the Nightmare Unicorn. You can link climb into both of these. You can get a pop and a spin, although you don't really want to be discarding too much, so again, they're just toolbox utility cards and you can use them if you need them. So that is my deck profile and how I will be playing Dinosaur for this format. Thank you for tuning in. If you have any comments about the deck, I am more than happy to answer any questions or comments you have. It's been great to do this profile. I hope to have more out in the future and do deck discussions and profiles on other deck strategies. Like, comment, subscribe, and once again, thank you for watching.